In today's video, I'm going to show you how to crochet the zigzag chevron pattern, perfect for blankets of any size. You can use any type of yarn that you have, any size hook, whatever you're comfortable with. This makes a great blanket. For this tutorial, I used the Lion brand bonus bundle of Mandala yarn. The colorway is Golem, and it's nice purples. We've got some sort of a burgundy in here as well. Just a wide range of those classic purple colors. This bonus bundle had 1,181 yards. It's a 300 gram ball, 100% acrylic, and it is a 3-weight yarn. For this particular yarn and for this tutorial and blanket, I used a 5mm crochet hook. I used practically the entire cake of that yarn. This is what I have left, so it does use quite a bit of yarn depending on the size of your blanket. For this blanket pattern, you're going to want a multiple of 14 plus 1, and then we're going to add an additional 3 chains for our turning chain. So go ahead and start with a slip knot on your hook. Chain a multiple of 14, so you're going to chain 14, 14, 14, 14, and so on until you get that width that you're happy with. And then at the end, we're going to chain an additional 1, and then an additional 3 for our turning chain. So for this tutorial, I am just going to chain 28 to get my multiple of 14. I have 28 chains, that is my multiple of 14. We're going to add an additional 1 and then an additional 3 for that turning chain. 1, 2, and 3. For the first row working back along this chain, we're going to start with 1 double crochet in the 4th chain away from the hook. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, just work a double crochet into that 4th chain away from your hook, and you'll have 2 double crochets. That chain 3 at the very end counts as a double crochet. Moving down the chain, we're going to work a double crochet over the next 5 chains. So just work 1 double crochet over the next 5. So you have something like this. Over the next 3 chains, so over your next 3 chains, 1, 2, and 3, we're going to work a double crochet together on that first chain. We're going to skip that middle chain and then finish that double crochet together on that 3rd chain. So you're going to yarn over and you're going to put your hook in the very next chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull back through 2. That's half of a double crochet. We're going to skip the next stitch and into the next. We're going to yarn over, put your hook into that chain, yarn over. You should have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull back through all 3. So we've done a double crochet 2 together in that first of those next 3 and the last of those next 3. We're skipping that middle chain. This will create the valley of our zigzag chevron pattern. Over the next 5 chains, we're going to again work 1 double crochet into each of those next 5. Into the next chain, we're going to work a V-stitch, and that is going to be the very peak or the top of our zigzag. So when we work those 5 double crochets, we're working 5 down, 5 coming up. After this V-stitch, 5 down, 5 coming up, and that's kind of how this whole blanket works. So into the next stitch or chain, we're going to work a V-stitch. So we work a double crochet, chain 1, and a double crochet right back into that same chain to create our V-stitch. You can almost see the little zigzag chevron working down and up. We're at the very top now. We're going to work a double crochet over the next 5 stitches. So 1 double crochet into each of the next 5 to come down. And we're going to work over those next 3 chains to get our valley. So whenever we're at the bottom in our valleys, we're going to work half of a double crochet in the very next chain, yarn over back through 2, stop, skip a stitch, and in the very next one finish that double crochet. So yarn over, put your hook in, yarn over back through 2, you should have 3, and make sure you're always skipping that middle stitch because that will create that valley. Yarn over, pull back through everything, and now you can see we've got a little bit of a chevron going. So you're going to repeat for this first row along your foundation chain. After our first valley down here, you're going to repeat from this point where we work the 5 double crochets up, do your V-stitch and 5 double crochets down, and then work the valley. So that's the row repeat. After your first valley, you're going to, that very first double crochet that you work is the start of the row repeat. So you're going to work 5 double crochets over the next 5 stitches. So 1 double crochet in each of those next 5. Work your peak, which is a V-stitch, a double crochet over the next 5, and then your valley. So over the next 3 you work that double crochet 2 together, skipping that middle stitch. At the end, so once you run out of chains, you're not going to be able to make a full up and down again. We're going to work a double crochet over the next 5, you should have 1 chain left at the end, and in that chain we're going to work 2 double crochets, and that will keep our sides straight as we work this zigzag chevron pattern. Alright, row 1. Row 2, and this is the first row of your pattern repeat. So the pattern repeat is going to repeat rows 2, 3, 4, and 5. So to start row number 2, we're going to chain 3 and turn. We're going to work 1 double crochet right into that same first chain, so that same, or that stitch, that first stitch that we just chained out of. We're going to work a double crochet in the next 5 stitches. So very similar to row 1 so far. So 1 double crochet over the next 5 stitches. We're working down to our valley. Over the next 3 stitches, And that middle stitch is where we have our two together, and we skip that middle stitch. We're going to do the same thing here as well. So we're going to work a double crochet into the very next stitch, half of it. So pull up a loop, yarn over, and stop. We're going to skip the next stitch, and into the next stitch we're going to yarn over, put your hook in, pull up a loop, yarn over, back through two. You should have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, back through everything. So we're skipping that middle stitch to create that valley again, and that working over those 3 is the start of the row repeat. So after you do your 1 double crochet over those 5, and then you work that valley, the start of that valley is the start of your row repeat. So to continue with the row 2, we're going to work a double crochet over the next 5 to get up to our peak. And that last double crochet of the 5 is worked into the stitch that is right before your chain from your V-stitch. So make sure you work right into that stitch. And now we're at our V-stitch, and this is the very peak of the row. We're going to work a V-stitch in that chain space. So double crochet into that chain space, chain 1, and work another double crochet right into that chain space, and that V-stitch gives us a peak. Coming back down now, we're going to work a double crochet over the next 5 stitches. We're at another valley. Over the next 3, we're going to work 2 double crochets together, skipping that middle stitch. We work half of a double crochet in that first stitch, skip the next and into the next, yarn over, put your hook in, pull up a loop, yarn over, back through 2. Once you have 3 loops on your hook, you can yarn over, pull back through all 3, and we've created a valley. So you're going to repeat from the first valley, going up, creating that V-stitch, coming back down with those double crochets over 5 stitches, working a valley. If my chain were longer, I would work up, do the V-stitch, work back down, and continue on. At the end, so once you get to the very end of your row, we're going to work a double crochet over the next 5 stitches. We have our turning chain left at the end, and we're going to work 2 double crochets into the top of that turning chain. So as close as you can find. Sometimes those turning chains, the top of them are very hard to find. You want to work 2 double crochets into the top of that turning chain. And that is row number 2. Row number 3. This row is probably the most complicated row of the entire blanket. We are going to start with a chain 5, turn. This counts as a double crochet, chain 2. Into that very same stitch, we're going to work 2 double crochet cluster. So yarn over, put your hook in that stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, back through 2, yarn over, put your hook back in that same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, back through 2. We have 3 loops on our hook. You can now yarn over, back through 3. So we've got our chain 5, which is a double crochet, chain 2, and our double crochet, 2 double crochet clusters. So that's just a double crochet cluster stitch. We're going to chain 2. We're going to skip the next 2 stitches and into the next, so that third stitch over, we're going to work another double crochet cluster stitch. Yarn over, skip 2, put your hook in that third stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, back through 2, yarn over, hook in the same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, back through 2, yarn over, back through 3. We're now going to chain 3, skip 2, and over the next 3 stitches, remember this is going to be our valley, so over the next 3 stitches we're going to work 2 double crochet clusters, skipping that middle stitch again. So we've just chained 3, I'm going to skip the next 2 into the next stitch, I'm going to yarn over, put my hook in, pull up a loop, yarn over, back through 2, do the same thing in the same stitch, yarn over, put my hook in the same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, back through 2. Now normally we would yarn over, pull back through everything. We're not going to do that. We want 2 more on the other side, so we're going to skip the next stitch. That's our very middle of those 3 that we're working over, and into the next we're going to do what we just did over here. Yarn over, skip 1, put our hook in the next, pull up a loop, yarn over, back through 2, yarn over, hook in the same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, back through 2. You should now have 5 loops on your hook, and we're going to yarn over and pull back through all 5. So we've created those clusters on each side, skipping that middle stitch. We're going to chain 3, and this is the start of the row repeat. So after you work that first valley, that chain 3 is the start of the repeat of the row. We're going to skip 2, we're coming up to the peak here, so skip 2, into the next we're going to work a double crochet cluster. So put your hook in, pull up a loop, yarn over, back through 2, yarn over, hook in the same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, back through 2, yarn over, back through 3, chain 2. So the only time we chain 3 is as we're coming down on this side and our first chain space coming up. As we get closer to our peak, we're only going to chain 2. Skip 2 and into that V-stitch, that chain 1 V-stitch, we're going to work a double crochet cluster. So yarn over, put your hook in, pull up a loop, yarn over, back through 2, yarn over, hook in the same chain space, pull up a loop, yarn over, back through 2, yarn over, back through 3. So there's 1 in our chain space of our V-stitch. We're going to chain 4 and work another double crochet cluster. So yarn over, hook in the same chain space, pull up a loop, back through 2, yarn over, hook in the same chain space, pull up a loop, back through 2, and back through 3. So at the tops we're going to have our double crochet cluster, chain 4, double crochet cluster into that same V stitch from the previous row. Working down, we're going to chain 2, skip 2, double crochet cluster into the next, yarn over, pull up a loop, back through 2, yarn over, pull up a loop, back through 2, yarn over, back through 3. Now we're coming down to our valley, so I need to chain 3, skip the next 2, and we're going to work over those next 3 stitches a double crochet cluster, 2 together, skipping that middle stitch. So we skip 2, into the next we're going to work a double crochet cluster, yarn over, back through 2, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, back through 2, stop, skip the next stitch, and into the next work another double crochet cluster. So pull up a loop, yarn over, back through 2, yarn over, put your hook in the same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, back through 2. You should have 5 loops on your hook, yarn over, back through everything. So you're going to repeat from that first chain 3 after your very first valley, all the way up, all the way down. If I had more length on my, or more width on my chain, initially I would have a lot more to work, so I would go back up, come back down. At the end, we're going to chain 3, skip 2, work a cluster into the next. So yarn over, put your hook in, pull up a loop, yarn over, back through 2, yarn over, put your hook in the same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, back through 2, and yarn over, back through 3. You should have 3 stitches left, including that turning chain. Chain 2, skip 2, and into the very top of that turning chain, we're going to work a double crochet cluster, chain 1, double crochet. So yarn over, put your hook in the top of the turning chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, back through 2, yarn over, into that same top of the turning chain, put your hook in, pull up a loop, yarn over, back through 2, yarn over, back through 3, chain 1, and ending with a double crochet right into that same top of your turning chain. So yarn over, put your hook right back in that same stitch, and work a double crochet. And that is row 3. So as you can see, it's a little bit different from the first 2 rows that we worked. It's the row that gives me the most trouble because you really have to be attentive as to where you're working those double crochet clusters, especially going up and down, making sure that you're working into the right stitch, making sure you're working chain 4, making sure you're skipping on the valleys. A lot of things to watch out for as you're starting this pattern. Once you get the hang of it though, it becomes more routine as you get further along in this pattern. For row number 4, this is one of the more easy rows in this pattern because for the most part we're just going to be working in those chain spaces. Row 4 is working all single crochets. To start, we're going to chain 1 and turn. We're going to work a single crochet right back into the same stitch that we chained out of. So 1 single crochet. We're going to find that first space. We're going to work a single crochet right into that first space, and a single crochet into the top of our double crochet cluster. So right in the next stitch, work a single crochet. We're going to work 2 single crochets into all of these spaces until we get to the top of our peak. So find that first chain 2 space, work 2 single crochets into it, find the next space. This is a chain 3 space, but it doesn't matter. Work 2 single crochets into that space, find the next space, 2 single crochets into that space, and we have 1 more space before our peak. In that space, 2 single crochets. When you get to the peak, you've got these 2 double crochet clusters separated by that chain 4. We're going to work a single crochet into the stitch that sits right on top of that double crochet cluster. So work a single crochet into that stitch, into the chain 4 space. We're going to work 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to end with a single crochet into that double crochet cluster on the other side of our peak, just like that. find the next space, work 2 single crochets, find the next space, 2 single crochets. This row works up really quickly as you get used to the pattern. We're going to skip over our valley, find the next space, work 2 single crochets, find the next space, 2 single crochets, and you're just going to repeat that. The only thing to remember is when you get to the top, so the very peak, you want to work a single crochet into the top of your double crochet cluster, 3 single crochets in that chain 4 space, and a single crochet into the next double crochet cluster, and then you can continue working 2 single crochets into every space until you get back up to the top of your next peak. At the end, so I've just worked 2 single crochets into that last space, so I've got this double crochet cluster and my turning chain. You're going to work a single crochet in the top of that double crochet cluster, a single crochet into the space between my chain and my double crochet cluster, so just work right into that space, a single crochet, and a single crochet into the top of your turning chain. And that is row number 4. Like I said, one of the easier rows in this pattern. We have one more row to do to complete our pattern repeat. So you're going to repeat rows 2, 3, 4, and now row 5. For row 5, we start with a chain 3, turn. We're now going to be working into each stitch to get that solid row like we did for row number 2. We're going to be working a double crochet right back into that same stitch that we chained out of, a double crochet over the next 5 stitches, we're now down at our valley. We're going to be working a double crochet 2 together over the next 2 stitches. So this row 5 on our valleys, we do not skip any stitches as we're working that valley, unlike the rest of the rows where we skip that middle stitch. Row 5, we just work 2 together. So yarn over, put your hook in the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over back through 2, go over to the next stitch, yarn over, put your hook in that next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over back through 2, and now we can yarn over back through 3. And that creates our valley. We're going to work a double crochet over the next 5 to get up to our peak. And this is the start of the row repeat. So your row repeat starts right after that first valley made. So that first of 5 double crochets going up. We are now at the top. In the middle of those 3 single crochets from the prior row, we're going to work a V-stitch. So you should be right in the center of those 3 single crochets. So work a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in the same stitch, and now we can come back down. We're going to work a double crochet over the next 5. We're now at our valley, so over the next 2 stitches we're going to work a double crochet 2 together, yarn over, put your hook in, pull up a loop, yarn over, back through 2, yarn over, go to the next stitch, put your hook in, pull up a loop, yarn over, back through 2, and yarn over, back through 3. And you're just going to repeat that part of this row up and down until you get to the end. At the end, you're going to work a double crochet over the next 5 stitches. And 1 stitch left on the end. We're just going to work 2 double crochets into that stitch. You're going to repeat rows 2 through 5 for as tall, as long as you want to get the size of blanket that you're looking to get. Once you finish and are happy with that size, and you've worked your last row number 5, you're going to work row number 2 one more time, so you have a second row of solid double crochets to match the beginning of your blanket. So once you're done with your last row 5, work row 2 one more time, fasten off, weave in your ends, and you'll have a fantastic zigzag chevron blanket. I made mine into a little baby blanket. If you're interested in the size of this blanket, I'll have all of that listed below in the description box. Check out some of my other blanket pattern tutorials as well. That playlist will be down below too. Thanks so much for watching. Happy crocheting, everyone. Bye.